Hi, today I'm going to talk you through dry layering, which is blending colour dry on your artwork and then activating it in a way to avoid muddy areas and also keeping that brightness within your picture. So here we go.
Dry layering is basically layering up your dry watercolor pencil on your paper, generally hot press 100% cotton archival paper, so you can develop a shape, tone and color before you activate that area with water. I usually use a reference, as you would see here, and then here is a example of a couple of layers of dry layering, then activation, so that will build depth. You will see as I'm starting to develop my color in this dry layering method, obviously this is sped up to help you capture a whole half-hour process within this small amount of time. I have started by layering a lighter tonal color with the medium pressure, even medium to light pressure, if you feel like that resonates with your art, and covering a larger area, which will be an under layer to the rest of the tonal colors that we will apply. And now I'm about to pop down a secondary color, which when I'm looking at my reference, I zone in and allocate that color using my eye through viewing shape and tone. So I'm mapping out that color over the lighter color, but not next to it. You'll notice that I'm slightly overlapping both tones and colors, and also again applying that secondary color in a medium pressure. Now, all of these colors you'll notice are more analogous, meaning they kind of sit next to each other on the color chart. And our goal here is to get a tonal area from light to dark, but using color as the special tool, and alongside pressure. So if we use a lighter pressure, we're going to get a lighter tone. If we use a medium pressure, we'll get a medium tone, and then a firmer pressure will put a lot more pigment onto the paper. So when you do wet it, it will be a brighter, deeper tone. So we're going to just map out between our reference and the artwork itself and add those colors in that we feel need to create that depth and that tone, using both our color choice and our pressure. I do have a video on testing the colors. It is really good and really good habit to get into, to pre-test your tones, because depending on the brand of watercolor pencil you're using, the tone can change from dry to wet. So just be really careful of that. You don't want to be putting a tone down and then wetting it and realizing it's not suited to the artwork, or you could be putting down a pink and then it activates to a purple, and then you've made mistakes that you can't really remove from that artwork. So we're just going to apply all this. So now we're going to apply the water, and as we do that, we're going to replicate how we've also layered our pencil in nice swirly areas utilizing the brush. So just pretend you're coloring in with the brush. We're not going to spread it across the page. We're going to try and isolate the color within that area that it's been placed. Before you do this, make sure your brush is not soaking wet with water. So we're using more of a drier brush method, meaning your brush is wet, but it's not dripping, it's just damp. And that will allow enough water to seep into the pigment and not pull further in order to spread around and create a big muddy mess of watercolor pencil. So as I'm doing this, you will notice I'm going from light into dark or deeper pigmented watercolor pencil, and then I'm also cleaning the brush in between, because the brush will load up with pigment, and there is a high chance that you can spread that around if you don't intimately clean that brush. So I'm just delicately cleaning the brush, nice little swirls using the tip to get to those fine areas and the side of the brush to get to those larger areas, and isolating that pigment where it belongs using nice little swirlies. And then this should help your color stay bright and avoid pooling messes, and also avoid mixing too much pigment together on the page to create a muddy area. Don't forget to grab your free guide, which is a downloadable. The link is in the description. This will allow you to organize yourself if you're only starting out and needing to get the right materials. And those who have materials, I've got some quick handy tips in there, plus some guides to help you organize yourself. Enjoy!